as a kid.
As a gypsy, in our culture of people, the best thing that you can ever be is a fighting man.
But what a fantastic name, Tyson Fury. Let's hope he can back it up.
If you're known as a good fighting man, you may as well be a multimillionaire.
Been boxing almost as long as he can remember.
Very rare you see a guy of his size, his stature, working body in their first fight, but this is a good onslaught.
And every man wants his daughter to marry the best fighting man. That's how it is, because that's the only thing that matters.
He really felt the power of that left hook, and Fury has started with a first round victory. And Tyson Fury, with one big knockout win, now goes looking for another one. Young giant of a heavyweight, is he going to be a big, big name for years to come?
What Tyson Fury has done in his career is amazing.
It's a good right hand. Bravely, the German is still there.
Named after Mike Tyson, by the way. I'm not named after Mike Tyson.
Boom, perfect timing.
Wow, this guy's just eating shots.
Skillful delivery of punches.
Oh, and it's been stopped. It's been stopped by the referee.
That is unparalleled in that division.
I would have stopped it too, because he couldn't even fight back.
Your bloodline goes back 200 years on both sides of your family.
Bare knuckle fighting.
Bare knuckle fighting. Like most traveler boys, young Tyson longed to fight. For 10 generations, the Fury men have been bare knuckle prize fighters.
This is a young fella who, not this one, this is not a particularly young fella, this is a young fella who is physically taller than both the Klitschkos.
6'9", 257 pounds.
When a bare knuckle fighter reaches the top,
He's hurt him, Jim. He's backing away now.
he's crowned with a rare title, Gypsy King. Tyson Fury's bloodline, there were two, one on each side of his family.
He stopped it.
No!
He stopped it.
Are you
He doesn't like
crazy?
it.
Are you crazy? Stop! Are you
He doesn't
crazy?
like it.
He
He doesn't like it one little bit.
When all my friends and relatives and family were going out getting drunk as teenagers and kids, I was in the gym. I was the first man there and the last one to leave every night.
The Gypsy King on his mother's side foretold a kind of prophecy to Peter Fury.
He said, can you imagine what kind of offspring they're going to have if they ever get into boxing? He said, we're destined to have a world champion. I'll never forget that.
That puts 2, 3, 4 punch combinations together in succession.
Well, he's undefeated. He's undefeated. He's taller than Klitschko. He's very awkward.
Tell you what, that right uppercut that Fury just threw there was enough to take your head clean off your shoulders.
I think they're going to pull him out. I think it may be finishing here. They're having a look at him. Yep, the fight's over. Lee Swaby's had enough.
Now then, a chance to chart the rise of a potential British heavyweight star, Tyson Fury. There he is, 6'9", 18.5 stone. Has he stepped too far up the ladder? One thing is certain, if Tyson Fury does fall off the ladder, the Bethnal Green Arena will shake.
Coming to us from Manchester, he was the 2008 ABA Senior Super Heavyweight Champion. And now as a professional, he is undefeated with 4 wins, and all 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Tyson Fury!
Our travelling community settle our own disputes by fighting bare knuckles outside on the street.
Oh my gosh!
He's going to do well to get through this opening round.
Well, if you're going to walk into the firing line, you're going to get nailed. And that's exactly what's happened.
He keeps hitting
Fight
him.
for honor.
1, 2, 3,
Yep.
1, 2, 1,
Fight for
1,
pride.
1, 2, 1,
Yep.
2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1.
Fight for money.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Ability-wise, I'm 5 times better than anyone in the world at the moment. Anybody, the Klitschko's anyone, they're big as me, but they're not as fast. They've got no movement. They're like wood, if you know what I mean. Robotic, as it said.
too easy to hit right now. Joshua's got no defence whatsoever. Wide open to the right hands.
He's looking to finish it right.
But there's
Fury able to tee off with his array of punches, and the left to the body is the one that put Belshore down. Big left hook, sweeping. Another one. It might be that it's going to be all over here. The bell will sound. Well, he's going to be able to go back to his corner, but if we didn't know before, we now know exactly who has the power.
Took the shot, no, that was a signal, another signal, and Fury there.
It's all over.
You know, that was good sportsmanship by Fury. He could have continued the combination, continued throwing the punches. He looked at his opponent, saw that he was hurt, and stopped the onslaught. Good sportsmanship.
But I'm very excited about the prospect.
Yeah,
him
so
as a
am I.
prospect, very excited.
Fantastic kid.
6'9", you know, I really hope he's got it.
What can he do tonight against Alexander Selesens? Within the British boxing game, if you speak to people, they all say his boxing ability, his actual boxing skills are a little bit underrated. Selesens bravely trying to land those big right. Oh, he's been hurt by a body shot. So yep, I think that will be the end of it. He will go in against John McDermott in a few weeks' time, who is an altogether more capable and accomplished performer.
How big a test is it though against John McDermott?
This is a massive test. Fury's only had done 60 rounds. McDermott's done 125 professional rounds.
10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of England.
Tyson Fury. Is Fury really the future? Is he worthy of all the hype?
I don't fight for money. I don't fight for fame. I don't fight for glory. I fight because I love it. I love getting punched in the face because I love tasting blood. I love hurting people. To me, fighting's my life.
Good shot from McDermott, and Fury is in a fight for the first time. And look at that from McDermott.
He is not used to this kind of pressure, Fury. Grabbing the heads.
Narcissus at the bell. McDermott in with a head, and McDermott is really wound up.
Go for the right, hit him, let me go.
I mean, John was an experienced fighter, you know, a good seasoned pro, and
McDermott defence, good uppercut from Fury. Good action in these first.
Not in the slightest disappointed what Fury's come up with so far.
That's a terrific heavyweight battle, isn't it?
Your winner from Manchester and new English heavyweight champion Tyson Fury.
98-92 by.
Introducing SpeechAlarm, the most natural sounding text-to-speech software on the market. Hey.
6 points.
Tyson, you got the win, you got the verdict. Did you deserve it?
Yeah, I deserved it, yeah. I worked very hard for that, to dig so deep for that. John McDermott was a lot harder than I thought he'd ever be. All credit to him, but I thought I worked the hardest throughout the fight and I deserved to win.
Hi there, good evening. It's the rematch that simply had to happen. The first fight sparked outrage and even led to a change in the rules. Now the stakes are even higher, with the winner getting a shot at the British heavyweight title.
Finally, John McDermott and Tyson Fury had their rematch.
I love Fury to death, but I think John McDermott knows a bit too much, and he's got a very clever guy in his corner.
He's a really nice guy, John McDermott, but I think the future's Tyson Fury.
Now we'll find out who has learned more from their first encounter. Fast right hands on a left hook from Fury. McDermott's in trouble in the neutral corner. Good shot from Fury again.
I think his legs were all over the...
You know, he's still a young man, he's just a kid, he's 21. Give him a little bit more time.
Good job.
Many of the guys started out with high expectations and aspirations and fell along the way.
so much, didn't he? He had to dig deep, and deep he went.
He's in the special care unit, and I think he was about £1.50 in weight or something, weren't you? Well, I looked and I had him in my hand, picked him up, put him in my hand.
You told the doctor,
yeah,
not only would he live,
yeah,
but he would grow to be
nearly 7 feet tall, 20 stone, and the new heavyweight champion of the world.
So, John, you lived in here?
Yeah, for 15 years, yeah.
15 years?
Yeah.
Who was in here with you?
All of us, the full family. Tyson, all his brothers, the full family.
6 of you in here?
6 of us, yeah. This is the base camp, this is the beginning. People remember for what they do in life. They only go down in history for what they achieve.
I was going into fighters ranked in the top 15 in the world, like that Brazilian I knocked out, Nascimento.
Great shot. Perfect right cross. Absolutely perfect.
Halfway through the first round, the Brazilian chased the canvas for the first time.
The night before the weigh-in, I was out till 5 in the morning with my cousin, drinking champagne on Deansgate.
Oh, lovely right, coming in for Fury.
So if I can do that sort of thing, doing these stupid things.
Brazilian's face becoming redder and redder on the left-hand side and on the bridge of his nose as well.
What can I do if I do it properly?
Oh, lovely right from Tyson. And he is out, the Brazilian there.
Our winner of the International Heavyweight Challenge, Tyson Fury.
2011, you had your first fight with Del Boy, Derek Chisora. Probably your first proper step up, do you agree?
Chisora was supposed to fight Vladimir Klitschko before me.
And many feel that Chisora will bully Fury into submission here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is what you have been waiting for. This is the main event of the evening. And they're going to go toe-to-toe. 12 rounds of boxing for a British and Commonwealth Heavyweight Championship.
You can feel the tension in that ring between these two fighters. A grudge of sorts. There's a touch of madness too. There's a title and there's a venue that's swimming in history. And both are untested on this kind of stage to a great degree. Chisora was twice, of course, denied fights by Vladimir Klitschko and almost felt like he was stepping down to take this. Right hand over the top from Chisora, and Fury needs to get out of trouble here.
When you're out there, you're a gladiator, my friend, and that it's just you and him.
But back comes Fury. Shots to the body and then a right hand.
Yeah, they were all 50-50 fights. Fighting fighters that were world ranked and only handfuls of fights.
Who follows it in again? They questioned each other's heart before this fight. There were times there where Tyson Fury was taken somewhere that he's never been.
I was in a rush, I wanted to move quick. I didn't want to have 40 up like fights and fight nobody. So.
Fury on the back foot at the moment, trying to survive, trying to keep his dreams alive here.
I was either going to be the best or I wasn't. If I wasn't good enough, then beat me up.
And Fury now turning to the left-handed style there for a moment.
I always said it, what happens to bullies if you stand up to them, they fold. And he was a bully, he had the bully mentality, and that was his thing.
Logically, Fury knows that Chisora can turn things with one punch. So many potential riches await the winner here tonight. And he's enjoying himself. He's not feeling the pressure, at least. He doesn't look like it. Hurt in round 2, but now he has come back to use combination punches to dominate Chisora. The overhand right has been effective as well. Blood from the mouth of Derek Chisora right now. Rises to 2 warriors here.
Say yes to Panera's new sausage and pepperoni flatbread. Panera, live your yes. Now $1 delivery.
I don't care about the
All these
flatbread.
deals are so good, you won't believe the prices.
I said, get out of my show. I'm gonna watch the show that is on.
Big occasions can disappoint. Big fights lately have, but not this one. It is Tyson Fury's night.
Tyson is rubbish. He's a dirty jippo who cannot fight. Our man will kill him. Guess what? Not one of them could.
Good evening and welcome to Belfast. We're live on Channel 5 for the next instalment in the story of Britain's new boxing heavyweight sensation. Yes, we're expecting a real examination of Fury's credentials here this evening in the famous King's Hall in Belfast. He has to win, Fury, if he wants to keep on track for that world title bid.
Fury is an interesting fighter. Everyone knows that he's tall.
You know, you got to be cautious. Yeah. You know, they're really throwing him in today.
But he likes to fight on the inside the bang like this, and it makes it exciting.
Tyson Fury wants to make a statement here, and he's beating it.
You can't learn it. You've either got it or you've not. Someone 6'9" shouldn't be able to move like I can. I defy every law of gravity. It's not fair.
And already blood to the nose of Fairfax.
Then Povetkin did over 10 rounds.
Left to the body.
I don't know anything else. I've always been a fighter, from being born to being 30 years old now.
You're born a traveller, it's in the blood. I'm not going to try and be something I'm not. I'm going to be proud of what I am.
An overhand right, and Chisora landed some, and that's his Achilles heel. And boy, it's hard to get it in.
Staggers back again. He's got a granite chin, Fury, but it's being tested here. Great round, and I think we have a fight.
The reflexes, the slipping, the sliding, the awkwardness, the ability to box both ways. I'm a natural gifted talent.
Good right there, though, from Tyson Fury. Trying to turn the tide of this fight. And another right from Fury. Doing it from Rage. Right hook and left hand from Fury.
Your winner and still undefeated, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury can box.
Can he negotiate this calmly, Tyson Fury? He always seems to make the heart flutter.
And I needed to be tested to see what type of character I was.
The first knockdown.
Oh, Fury is down! Fury is down for the first time in his career! Caught by Pikich, and now it's a real crisis for Tyson Fury!
You fought the Americans, you fought the Mexicans, you fought the Europeans, but you ain't never fought the Gypsy King before.
Fury with a right uppercut that rocks Pikich to his boots, follows it with a left hand, right hand again, and Pikich is right. Still 50 seconds to go in the round here. Fury was down in round 2, back on his feet and maybe on the brink of a win here. Big right hand again from Fury, looking for the finish. Brilliant from Tyson Fury here. He has so many flaws, but he has so much heart. And he has Pikich on the back foot now. He stopped it in round 3. And Fury wants to carry on.
But he's got a tremendous record leading up to this. He says he's never been knocked over. He's worked all over Christmas for this.
You do start to wonder. He takes much more of this. He has to get in there and stop it.
I saw him do it against SS Cunningham, who was a cruiserweight, moved up to heavyweight, and it looked like he flattened Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury got up and survived. The man has amazing heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, USA, let's get ready to rumble!
I expect a good, clean fight. Let's touch gloves. Touch him up. Good. Yes,
He was a slick boxer, very awkward, very good at skills, and just knew what he was doing. He was a two-time IBF world champion. Listen, if you get hit on the chin, you get knocked out for the count, then you're gone, aren't you?
But if I can get back up, I'm going to get back up. And I thought to me, I'm going to kill you stone dead now.
Fury's hurt. He got caught with a good right hand by Steve, and he fell in. He was definitely hurt.
You put me down, embarrassed me in front of all these people. I'm going to hurt you badly.
Good body shot by Fury. I think Steve's a little hurt here, Kenny.
Nice uppercut, 2 of them in there. Cunningham backing up just a bit.
Yeah, Steve's almost done here. Look at this.
So not. Cunningham is knocked out by Fury. Fury got the right in, and Cunningham is floored.
He's hurt bad. You see him using that forearm. I think Steve's done here, Kenny. He's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, they need to stop this fight.
This fight is over. Tyson Fury in his U.S. debut is undefeated, knocking out Cunningham in the 7th.
And they got straight back up and fired into Cunningham and ended up knocking him out. The only person to ever knock him out in a boxing fight.
Are we gonna be okay? If you knew the end was coming, how would you make the most of your time?
I said it straight to Vladimir. I said, you're looking at a king. I said, have you ever fought a king before? He said, no. I said, will you fight him one now? And he said, you're going to lose to one.
And he was known as the guy who would box and hold, jab and hold. I mean, he was one of the most boring heavyweights of all time.
Nothing personal but business.
No, it is a business.
I have nothing personal.
No, it's very personal for me, Vladimir. It's a personal mission for me to rid boxing of a boring person like you. Yeah, you're boring. I want to rid you out of the heavyweight division.
Tell me more how much you hate me. Tell me more.
I don't hate you.
You need to get under my skin.
I don't hate you.
Make it personal.
Listen, you ask the question and I will answer.
Okay, please.
Listen, I'm interested in breaking your face in. That's what I'm interested in.
Everyone said that Klitschko was the sauna king. He couldn't be beaten in sauna.
The sauna king?
Yeah. At Matty's training camp, we're in the sauna. About 10 guys in the sauna, and it came down to me and Vlad in the sauna. Do you remember this, Vladimir, at all? Right, he can say what he wants, he can deny it, whatever. Yeah, but I was prepared.
What are you talking about?
I was prepared to die in that sauna before I got out. I stayed in for like 40 minutes.
Who got out first?
I like the ball.
He did. He got out first.
And what did you think at that time?
Fought mental victory. I mentioned it to him, and he said he didn't remember. So then I had him mentally, because I knew he remembered.
He would jab you, grab you. But that shit didn't work with you.
It didn't, for the first time. All boxing writers, newspaper writers, sports editors, no chance.
And you never had a doubt?
No, I just knew that he couldn't beat me.
Schedule 12. Into nature cautious. Roy, he seems even more cautious
I
today.
knew going into the Vladimir fight that everybody, all the rest of the opponents and 25 men before me, had all went in trying to do the same thing, trying to knock him out.
You have about as much charisma as my underpants. 0.
And this is the story of the fight. Fury doing all the punching, Vladimir doing next to nothing.
He didn't throw anything. He threw nothing.
I think he was worried. I think the shit talking got to him.
Fury is building what might become, on Letterman's scorecard, an insurmountable lead.
That Tyson Fury believed from talking to people that Klitschko could be broken.
Oh, good big left hook by Fury.
He could be bullied. He could be with. You can get inside his head.
Klitschko looks to me like, dare I say it, almost like a nervous amateur that doesn't want to pull the trigger.
I told Vladimir, years before when I was 22, I said, I'll beat you one day.
Well, it's the 12th round, yeah.
I've won it. I am the man who beat the man. But I always knew it and I always said it. So, not being big-headed, but I told you so.
Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. Forever and ever and I don't want to close my eyes.
Serenaded her to the world. The Aerosmith song that was used on the film Armageddon, where they saved the world. And I saved the world from a boring era of Klitschko.
We have the new unified heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Tyson Fury.
Almost insurmountable obstacle in front of you, becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. All of a sudden you did it, then the depression kicks in.
Yeah.
Heavyweight boxing champion Tyson Fury has gotten himself in some deep water.
Our friend Mr. Fury has failed the drugs test due to there being cocaine in his system.
What were the drugs of choice once you won the title?
Cocaine was the usual one.
Heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has been making headlines left and right since winning the belt. Now he's opening up to Rolling Stone about his personal struggles with drugs and depression.
You don't like it, change the station. You don't like it, don't take photos. You don't like it, don't print it in your newspaper. Do I care? Not really.
He doesn't look well. You look at stuff that he does, he's very erratic in his behaviours. Turning up to a press conference for no reason as Batman.
I don't live a strict lifestyle. I don't even live an athlete's lifestyle. It's an absolute disgrace to call me an athlete. Cocaine and alcohol, it's like roller coaster. Crazy drug and alcohol mix. I'll have to show you what the athlete looks like. This is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. There you go. Does that look like a fighter's body? Clearly not.
At the time, I wasn't training.
Have a look. Energy. Fat man. That's who beat you. Shame on you, man.
I've not been in the gym for months. I've not been training. I've been going through depression. I just don't want to live anymore.
For those that don't know, Tyson Fury has pulled out of the rematch with Vladimir Klitschko at the MEN because of mental health issues.
I was sitting here, 400 pounds, a drug addict, an alcoholic. I didn't care about nothing, I just wanted to die so bad. I give up on life. And just as I was heading towards that bridge at 190 in this Ferrari, it had crushed like a Coke can, by the way, if I'd have hit it. I heard a voice say, no, don't do this, Tyson. Think about your kids. Think about your family and your little boys and girls growing up with no father. And everyone saying your dad was a weak man. He left us. He took the easy way out because he couldn't do anything about it. And for the first time in years, I knew I was going to make a comeback.
You know, you got to crack on and realise that you did it to yourself. So there's no pity for an idiot. Just want to say I'm coming back better than I ever was before.
And after that, he loses it all, blows up to 400 pounds. He looks like he's basically done.
Very heavy. Ballooned in weight 400 pounds and retired and seemed to be having an emotional breakdown and a mental breakdown.
And I sees this video of Deontay Wilder saying, yeah, Tyson Fury's finally done that because he can never come back. It gave me that much more motivation to return. Just so I can beat Deontay Wilder.
And he was a boxing villain at that point. And he has built himself back up. He's gotten himself back in the ring. He's tried to clean up his life.
Unbeaten in 40 fights, WBC champion, the biggest puncher in heavyweight history. After the layoff, I've had 2.5 years out the ring. I was never defeated inside a boxing ring. And I wanted to fight the best when I came back.
He's gonna feel pain that he never felt before.
The problem is they're both unbeaten. They've both got unbelievable self-belief.
My boxing ability's never been in question. I've never lost anything from my boxing ability. My movement, my feints, my IQ, nothing. All I did was put a lot of weight on.
I will say this about Wilder. The right hand is something special.
Well, you questioned Deontay Wilder's power! The proof is in the banana!
I didn't come to be embarrassed by this little skinny wench.
But I guess what I'm asking, that being out of the game for 2.5 years, I mean, don't you need a little bit more time to prepare?
Even though he retired and got stripped and hadn't fought in a while and everything, in boxing tradition, if that dude is still undefeated, no one's beaten him in the ring, and he beat the champ to become the champ, he has a claim to the lineal title.
Los Angeles, December the 1st, a day of destiny at the Staples Center.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's back.
Please welcome the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
It's not to be so hyped for his return. For such like, holy crap. You've heard all these bad things, and then
there are plenty of people in the boxing world who still believe this is the true heavyweight champion of the world, and nobody else is going to be able to claim that until they've beaten him. And the Gypsy King is back, centre stage.
came on my show earlier this week as well. He said, I'm going to whip as you know what, and then we're going to go party. That's exactly what he said. And he means it. And I have no doubt that he means it. When you're 40-0 with 39 KOs, you mean what you say.
Round one, we are about to learn the truth.
My initial prediction was that he'll take Tyson Fury out in the 7th or 8th round.
Tyson Fury is the best in the world. This is why he's undefeated. Even if it goes past 6 rounds, you never feel comfortable.
Fury nods to his corner as much as to say, I'm in control.
He's orthodox, or he's southpaw. He's against the ropes. He's throwing jabs. Even if it goes past 6 rounds, you never feel comfortable. Into that kind of trance of a fight. That's what makes Tyson Fury special.
More showboating from Fury.
I think Deontay Wilder knocks Tyson Fury, finishes him in under 10. I don't know if Tyson Fury, after 8 rounds, can avoid the big power punches from Deontay Wilder.
Difficult to see what the clear shot was. He's on his feet, but we said it only takes one, and Fury...
I know, I got our balls like King Kong to step in the ring with Tyson Fury.
King Kong ain't got... And this is the moment of truth for Fury. This is where he has to somehow find a way to survive.
Like I say, if I can't be the best, I'm going to be second place or third even. There's no place for me in boxing to be anything other than number 1. So that's what I've got to do. I've got to beat this man to be the best.
And Deontay Wilder has power in the 1st round, the same power in the 10th round, and the 11th round, and we've seen it.
Wilder needs one huge bingo punch.
Against Deontay Wilder, looking for all the world like he's pulling another upset. There's a right.
And down he goes! Right hand, left hand! There he goes!
Mamma mia! Deontay Wilder!
Right hand, left hand!
Has there ever been a doubt in your mind where you think, I'm not going to get up? No. Because if I open my eyes, I know I can get up.
Deontay Wilder has done it!
Wilder celebrated like...
Yo, he did not just get up, bro!
Wow! Walk over here, come back to me! Incredible turn of events here in the 12th!
It looks become a meme now when Tyson gets back up because Deontay's over there dancing and all of a sudden he looks and can't believe.
The way Tyson Fury got up from that right hand, you don't see a guy who's taking time off, who's had drug problems, who's ballooned up to 400 pounds, all this stuff, that he's the guy who boxes like that.
Fury may well have won back the World Heavyweight title.
He couldn't believe he got a draw. He could not believe it. He must be thanking his lucky stars this morning that he still got the green and gold belt. Because that belt belongs to me, Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King.
After the fight, Fury was back on top.
It's time for the top-ranked boxing main event of the evening.
Protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck. Touch him up.
Guys, at the weigh-in, Tyson Fury was calling Tom Schwartz a bum. He yelled in his face and said, "You're getting it, Tom. I'm knocking you out, and I'm doing it in 1 round." That is not Tyson Fury's typical form. He's a master chess player. What do you expect early?
Boxing. Sweet science.
He made quick work of his next opponents.
turntables and lands a right hand at distance. Guys, you were jaw-dropped by his boxing ability of turning out of the corner. Schwartz trying his best. Look at Fury!
Displaying a mastery of the sweet science.
What unbelievable upper body movement defensively! 4 punches missed with the head movement. Combination punching, and Schwartz goes down! This is a master clash right now! Can he finish off this sensational second round? Here comes the champ! Schwartz is in trouble! Big man's blasted away! He's taking huge punishment! It's over! TKO victory, and still! Welcome to Vegas!
He is still the undefeated lineal heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury!
The biggest heavyweight fight in years was set.
He said that he figured out something. Interestingly enough, after he got hit with that big blow in the 12th round of the first fight, and he got up at that point and took the attack to Wilder in that 12th round.
It's time for the main event of the evening!
With him saying that he's going to knock me out in the second round, you know, it leads me to suspect that he's got, for one, his nervous energy.
With no hidden fees, Storytelling is a better way to take payments your way.
And you are mine. When you are mine.
You got to think Deontay Wilder coming into that fight has flatlined every single opponent he's faced except for Tyson Fury.
What a spectacular entrance by the baddest man on the planet, Deontay Wilder, the heavyweight champion of the world.
So he was probably thinking he could murk anybody. All he has to do is touch him.
Tyson Fury changed trainers leading up to this fight, now working with Javon Sugarhill out of the Crunk Boxing Gym in Detroit.
Clean at all times. Protect yourself at all times.
Tyson Fury predicted a knockout in the second.
The pundits did exactly what you'd expect them to. Predict a Fury loss.
In order for him to knock Wilder out, you gotta be willing to take it yourself. I don't know of anybody who's willing to take it from Wilder. I don't think Fury's that dumb.
Big right hand that snapped back the head of Fury.
Everything he told me 3 weeks ago. I'm coming in at 270. It's going to be simple, balance, fundamentals, 1-2. I'm going to lean on him and take him out.
He shifted his strategy, having seen a potential weakness in Wilder's defense during their first meeting.
Big right hand by Wilder again, and Fury eats it well. But back comes Fury. Oh my goodness, they're fighting even after the bell. He's landing it.
That's what I'm saying.
And Fury's eating it.
It's crazy to me.
You can't punch. I don't know what you talking about, knocking somebody in the second round. You ain't never knocked nobody in no second round. You got pillows for fish.
And he never believed that Tyson Fury was actually going to fight that way. He was going to jump on him.
But Tyson said he was going to do that.
I know, but
Like, told him the game plan.
Right hand. Wilder got clipped.
Parted ways with his longtime trainer and took to the famed Kronk Gym, where he trained to utilize every pound of his massive frame.
And he is putting his body weight on Wilder. Wilder needs to stay away from the rope. From this standpoint, blood streaming a little bit from the mouth of Wilder.
Fury was going to dictate the action, an unfamiliar position for the Bronx Bomber, whose opponents typically danced away from his mighty power.
He's knocked down! Oh my goodness!
7, 8.
Can Tyson Fury finish off Deontay Wilder? Wilder's legs are not underneath him! equilibrium may be off.
Fury took every chance he got to lean on Wilder. Grabbing, tiring,
And the fact that he is putting his body on Deontay Wilder.
sapping his energy, tying him up and battering his body.
I believe he put that exercise on. He used every bit of it as well for that fight.
Making the fight an ugly one.
It might have staggered Wilder. Fury going on the attack. He feels like he has Wilder hurt.
Fury was in complete control of the match.
That punch knocked him.
Down goes Wilder again for the second time in the fight.
Wilder's legs were gone.
Starting the 6th round, we'll see if the champion can reassert himself, but he still seems to be having issues with his balance.
Fury pummeled Wilder.
So you want to taste blood. You've said this before, and you've said it in the lead up here.
Not bother me. I'm going to take him, I'm going to cut him and see how he feels like it. I'm going to see if he's going to get up off the floor. I don't think he's got the bottled mineral, whatever you want to call it.
That's disgusting.
He's an on-top fighter, he's a bully fighter, and when a bully gets bullied, he folds every single time.
Finally, after absorbing one devastating attack after another, Wilder's corner threw in the towel.
Tyson Fury has become the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
The Gypsy King was back on top.
He's a king who has fallen, rose again, never rose as high as he did tonight. Hail, hail, the planet's baddest man.
Wilder took the defeat with dignity. No, I'm just kidding. He went on an excuse-a-thon.
Stairs. It was like a real workout for my legs. When I took it off, I knew immediately the game has changed.
He blamed his costume for being too heavy. He blamed Fury's gloves.
I believe you put something hard in your glove. Something the size and the shape of an egg weight. Here's the reason why the side of my face swelled up in an egg weight form.
He blamed his trainer for stopping the fight.
It took a crab in a bucket referee and a disloyal trainer to throw the towel in just to stop me.
And so, to silence the excuses once and for all, a third and final fight was set between Wilder and Fury.
A fighter that is looking for redemption, like Wilder, I could see him going right back into camp.
Many expected another Fury victory, but few could have anticipated what he'd be in store for.
The way I look at this fight, there's a lot of possibilities, there's a lot of X factors.
Fury entered like a Spartan. Wilder knew his entire boxing future was on the line. He made it clear, this time, the only way he was going out was on his shield.
Tyson Fury!
Setting the tone for a Zack Snyder 300-esque action sequence of a boxing match.
Tyson Fury is just too good for him. Tyson Fury just got his number. And is he psychologically somewhat unraveling here? That one big attack could have a very significant effect.
Well, what about the fact that nobody thought that another heavyweight era was going to matter, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Hoping to sap Fury's strength, Wilder targeted the body. But Fury quickly took control of the action.
And the left hook to the side. And beating Wilder to the punch. Suddenly Wilder just looking a little bit more disorganised. Disorganised and wild in the shot there. John looking for the right hand.
knockdown made it appear the fight was over.
He's got him again, and he's holding on desperately here. Fury pulled down the right hand.
I thought Deontay Wilder was finished in the third round.
Come on!
Because he got dropped by Tyson.
A shaky-legged Wilder survived the round.
I said he ain't getting out of the fourth.
And Fury is dominant, and in this fourth round, can he now go in there and finish this? How well has Deontay Wilder been able to regroup?
You can't make a mistake with a puncher like Wilder.
But Wilder's right hand is the great eraser.
Incredible shot from Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury coming forward, got a little bit complacent, walks onto a shot, but we know he can recover.
Able to wash clean the mistakes of previous rounds in one fell swoop.
Who wants it most? Who's got a bigger heart? And now Wilder's looking to finish it. Fury's having to cover up. What a fight!
Wilder is fighting, as I said earlier, for his existence the rest of his life, for who he is. That's powerful.
But as he has done his entire career, Fury rose.
And here, just about coming to the end of the fourth round, a second knockdown.
And quite frankly, Deontay Wilder looked awesome. He is tougher than hell, and he is full of heart.
You need to win great fights to become a great fighter. And what we have, it might be wild, it might not be cultured, but it's a great fight. He's right back in it now, Fury. We wondered whether he could regroup. He most certainly has done.
Wilder needs to stay out of these clinches. This works in Fury's favor.
The energy of the fight had flipped.
According to the punch stats, Fury landing twice as many as Wilder, but Wilder's still there, takes another big right hand.
What ensued was a war for the ages. A back and forth, no quit brawl.
How is he staying upright? On the receiving end of some huge punches.
One of the greatest conclusions to one of the greatest trilogies in boxing history.
Oh! By Fury! And down goes Deontay Wilder!
Fury dropped Wilder again. But again, the Bronze Bomber got up, showing endless reserves of heart.
I've been in this business for over 25 years. That's the greatest fight I ever attended.
We admire that. That is courageous, that is macho, that is bravery, that is awesome.
The Gypsy King granted Wilder's request and sent him out on his shield.
Fury has dismantled Deontay Wilder. He knows now that Tyson Fury quite definitely is the superior man. Respect. Let's be fair as well. I respect the man I'm on. Don't show forth. Don't go back forth.
And still, heavyweight champion of the world.
Gypsy King Tyson